Hey guys, it's Gold Brother Sports Podcast. Today we have a special episode because we'll be featuring some guests, such as Bipa to start. He has his Vikings gear ready to go, and we'll be getting into our
Goal Vikings.
we'll be getting into our Week 18 predictions. So the first game we have is the Vikings versus the Bears. I have the Vikings winning 24-22 because the Vikings are better than the Bears. They might have their stars resting, which is why I have it so close, but I just think that the Vikings will pull this out. And Biba.
Well, I think this is actually a misprint because it should be 72 to 1 or 4 because
Yeah.
it's the Bears. But we're picking the Vikings.
Yep.
I don't know. It should be 72 to 1 or 4, but
Alright.
it's a meaningless game for the Vikings because they've wrapped everything up. They don't even they don't even show up, 27-14
Oh,
Vikings.
okay. Next game, Bills at the Patriots. I have the Bills winning 21-17. This will be an important game for both teams because the Bills will be fighting for the 1 seed, and the Patriots will be fighting to make the playoffs if they're not eliminated by then. Bipa, whoops, go back.
Well, Bipa also picks the Bills to win. They're just simply a much better team than Bill Belichick is coaching. So 33-17
Yeah.
Bills.
All right, next game we have the Eagles at the Giants. Last game, the Eagles just crushed the Giants. It's like 47-20 or something. So I think the Eagles will win this game if they have not already locked up the division by last week because, well, this is filmed before we see the results of last week's game. So this is assuming that the Eagles have locked up the division. I think the Eagles will win 31-22, potentially spoiling the Giants' playoff hopes.
I think I forgot to mention in the previous Bills game, the reason they're going to score so many points is because they borrowed a player from the Vikings that they didn't need anymore, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that's true. And for the Eagles game?
For the Eagles, they're going to win just because they're bad sports and they're cheating. They'll score 31 points to 17. They win. Don't like it, but they do it.
Yeah, it's true. They win a lot. The next game is the Cardinals at the 49ers. I'm pretty sure it's the other way around, but that's okay. I have the 49ers winning 27-13. The 49ers will be fighting for the 2 seed, assuming that the Vikings lose to the Packers, because that just seems like something the Vikings would do. When was the last time the Vikings swept the Packers?
Well, they could every year if they wanted to.
They just want to give them a chance.
Yeah, it's got to keep the state rivalry and the rivalry going.
Yeah, that's true. Similar how the Hawkeyes sometimes let the Gophers win.
Yeah, and speaking of, you have my pick, put it up there. So, Beepa says the 49ers win because they have an Iowa State quarterback that they called Mr. Irrelevant, but he seems to be pretty good. So I'm going to pick San Francisco 28-10.
That's a good pick. Next this game means nothing for the Falcons. Again, as I said in the last video, they are a dead bird. They have been eliminated. They made it farther than usual, but they are eliminated. And this could be a very important game for the Bucs. So I have the Buccaneers winning 28-23. All these are divisional matchups, so I won't have any blowouts because mostly division matchups are not blowouts. Bipa?
Well, I have the Buccaneers stealing this victory because they are, after all, Buccaneers, Pirates, 21-17.
Yep, so that is... Yeah.
They should win more handily, but their quarterback is kind of showing his age.
Yeah, that's true. So that is the end of Bipa's predictions. We'll hopefully see him again on the show sometime.
Thought we were going to talk more Vikings, but if that's all you
If
got,
you want to talk some more Vikings, we can. We'll go all the way.
no, that's all right.
Okay, we'll have Mima on next. All right, we're here with Mima now. So, you have your Vikings game up first. So I already did my predictions. So here's Mima's. So Bipa, you can put it forward. So, yeah.
Yes, I'm predicting the Vikings to win. Yes, against the Bears. It seems like the Bears have been unable to complete passes.
You have their passing percentage on there.
I don't know. But I did read that they are unable to complete passes. So
Yeah,
they should lose to the Vikings, and the Vikings should win with that new coach.
The next game is the Chargers at the Broncos at Mile High Stadium, as you mentioned earlier. I have the Chargers winning 31-13. I am never choosing the Broncos to win again after choosing them to beat the Rams. I'm not
Did you do that last year?
Yeah, no, I did that a few games ago.
Oh. Okay.
And I chose the Broncos to win, and the Broncos lost by like 40.
Oh my goodness.
So, I'm not doing that again. So, now for Mima's pick.
Well, the Chargers are favored to win,
True.
and they have a way better record.
It's also true.
And so my prediction's 26-16, which was not far off yours.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, like 8 points off? So, yeah, pretty close within a touchdown and a 2-point. Done by TJ Hawkinson, hopefully, after that Colts one. So, this game, the Chargers should win. Next game, it's not going up. There we go. I have the Texans winning. I know they're the underdogs. I know they haven't been able to complete wins, as you mentioned. But they have been on a roll competing with the Chiefs, competing with the Cowboys. They would have beat the Chiefs if Davis Mills didn't fumble. So I'm pretty sure all Chiefs fans forever love Davis Mills for that.
But the important thing, though, is actually winning.
That's true.
And since they have a 2-12 record, I predict that.
And one.
What?
And one.
And one?
They have a tie.
Oh, okay. I don't have that on there. Anyway, I have the Colts winning 27-16.
Yeah.
But
They have a new
it
coach.
doesn't matter that much,
Did
right?
you know the Colts have a new coach?
I didn't know that. But does this matter that much? Because
No,
neither one are going to be in the playoffs.
Correct. This game does not matter.
Right? Okay.
The next game is the Chiefs at the Raiders. Pretty sure everyone has the Chiefs winning, but I have it being a close game due to being a divisional matchup. The Chiefs might be resting their starters. We'll find out after the week that you guys have already seen when this video gets posted. So, I think the Chiefs will win. Divisional matchup. It should be close. Mima?
I predict the Chiefs to win 34-23, but I didn't know that little bit of information that they might rest their best players.
So, do you have any new predictions?
No.
All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, Chiefs are better than the Raiders. The Chiefs should win this game.
Well, they have them as winning maybe the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they are Super Bowl favorite. She did her research. That's true.
And I was dismayed to see that the Vikings aren't right up there.
I know, but we can be the underdogs.
Right. And they have the new coach.
And they have a chance because they're in the playoffs for sure.
Right. Okay.
The next game is the Titans at the Jaguars. I have the Jaguars winning 31-24. They have been hot lately, winning I think 6 out of 7 games. I bet you didn't know that information.
I have the Titans winning.
Yep.
Because I think I read where the Jaguars lost to the Lions like 40-10.
The Titans, you mean? Wait, no, yeah, they did do that.
Yeah.
They have won 6 out of their past 7 games. They're basically a rookie quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
Because he should be a rookie because Urban Meyer, having him as a coach, doesn't really count for a year. So I have Trevor Lawrence and Jaguars winning because this game could decide who wins the division and makes the playoffs. So
Well, I guess I put the Titans as winning because the Jaguars have lost to the Titans in like most of the last games.
yeah, it's true. The Titans are typically better than the Jaguars, but the Jaguars have been
Guess
on a
we'll
roll. And the Titans have lost. They haven't won a game since they beat the Packers on Thursday Night Football. And Derrick Henry's injured, so that does not help. Alright, so that's it with our special guest for now. We'll have another one at the end of the show, but we're going to head back to my main studio where I will finish out these predictions and do our week 17 analysis, which I don't know the results of those games quite yet, but I'll find out this weekend. All right, we're back in my room, and so we have our next guest, Jason, to do his predictions. So we're gonna start off with the Vikings-Bears game. You had the Bears winning 23-6.
Yep, down here in sunny Florida, young Paxton, or they call you Gator. But 23-6, Bears. Here's why. You want to know why?
Yeah.
It's the Saturday before Week 17, so the Vikings play the Packers tomorrow. And I know how much of a fan you and Maddox are of the Packers, but the Packers are going to probably destroy the Vikings, unfortunately, tomorrow. So that means that, assuming San Francisco wins, Week 18, the Vikings will have nothing to play for because they will be locked into the number 3 seed. So they will start Nick Mullins at quarterback, which is essentially like them starting me at quarterback. So that's probably not a good thing. So they will not score hardly any points. And the Bears with Fields will continue to try to get a couple wins just to end the season on a high note. So that's why I have the Bears winning that game in Week 18.
All right. Yeah, I can definitely see that. The next game for Week 18 is the Lions at the Bears. I have the Packers winning 31-17. Rodgers is clutch when they need to get the wins in. So I don't really see Rodgers losing in a tight game like that. And you also have the Packers winning 28-24.
Yep, sad really, but Aaron Rodgers, after a very rough season with the media basically signing him up to play for other teams, well, he'll be back in Green Bay in 2023. But he's going to make a late run here in 2022. So he beats the Vikings tomorrow, January 1st, sadly but true. And then Detroit's Detroit, right? So they have a little bit of an offense. Make it interesting. But Green Bay, at the end of the day, will win 28-24 to secure the number 7 seed in the NFC playoffs. That's the bad news. The good news is
they're playing San Francisco.
The Vikings, dropping the 3 seed, will play the Giants at home. And hopefully it won't take a Greg Joseph 61-yard field goal to win. That's all good news, right? But then they might have to go on the road to San Francisco in Week 2, and we probably all know what will happen then. But anyway, we're talking Week 18 football. Packers 28, Lions 24. Book it, mark it, write it down. That's a lock.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. But another good news, the Packers are playing the 49ers in the playoffs, and we all know how that ends. Yeah.
Well, as a Vikings fan, though, Gator, you're going to have to cheer for the Packers because if the Vikings beat the Giants as the 3 seed, they would play another home game if the Packers can beat the 49ers at San Francisco. With a rookie quarterback from Iowa State playing, I could very easily see that happening. Aaron Rodgers, Packers, round 2, Vikings host a playoff game in round 2 as the number 3 seed. Go ahead, book that, mark that one down, Gator.
But here's the thing. The Packers lost to the 49ers last year, and the Packers had Devontae Adams, and the 49ers did not have Christian McCaffrey. That's a double superstar trade. So, I don't think the Packers...
I don't know. You got to look at the quarterbacks, though. I know we're talking Week 18, but we went down a rabbit hole in the playoffs. Quarterbacks and defense win in the playoffs, and the Packers defense will do enough against the quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers advanced to round 2. But, again, that could be a good thing as a Vikings fan.
Yeah, I'd rather play the Packers than the Niners at Santa Clara.
Correct.
The next game is the Dolphins at the Jets. Both teams could be getting to the playoff spot right here. They could be fighting for it. I have the Jets winning 27-21. The Dolphins always seem to, they have a chance at the end, and they always seem to fail into making the playoffs. So I just don't see the Dolphins being clutch right here. Jets have that good defense, and I think that with Mike White back, they're a much better team than with Zach Wilson.
Hard to argue. What did I have for the prediction on my end?
You had the Jets winning 23-20.
So this is a story, and I know this is a very family-oriented show, but this is a story of quarterbacks that have passed away. Teddy Bridgewater passed away back in 2016 at the Vikings practice facility in Winter Park. He's the starting quarterback more than likely. That's not a good thing.
That's true.
And Tua passed away 3 times this year with concussions, but Miami doesn't they have to sit him out. So their
For this
season will
week.
sadly come to an end.
For this week,
The
they'll find a way. They'll find a way around to get Tua in. With how the season's gone, I can't see them not playing Tua. There.
So my sources tell me we were at the Vikings-Dolphins game at Hard Rock Field in Miami, and you saw Teddy Bridgewater in person, and I think you can attest to what I'm saying. Teddy Bridgewater, not going to get it done.
No, against that terrible Vikings secondary. To be fair, though, remember that one drive where they had like 15 penalties?
Yeah, they're just, they kind of self-destructed, but the Vikings probably would have lost that game if it wasn't for Teddy Bridgewater coming into play. So Jets win 23-20. Game that I picked probably closer than it will be. I could see the Jets running away with that, but we'll say that Week 18 playoffs on the line, close game, 23-20.
Excited to see the Sauce Gardner versus Tyreek Hill matchup. That will be good.
Oh, what's next?
Bengals at Ravens. So this is another divisional matchup. I think every game's a divisional matchup in Week 18. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have the Bengals winning 34-32 because the Ravens, they're both in the playoffs. The Ravens are kind of in the same situation as the Cowboys, where they kind of locked up the 5th seed. They can't win the division, but they can lock up the 5th seed. So that's why I have the Bengals winning. They just have the 1 seed to play for. I do think that the Chiefs will get it because I don't see them losing the rest of their games. They play the Raiders, and we'll find out who else they play shortly, but I just don't see the Chiefs losing. So this could be a meaningless game, even though it's a divisional matchup. And you have the Ravens winning 26-24.
Yep, I'm not a big Harbaugh fan, but I know that they're good coaches. Jim Harbaugh is currently getting beat in the playoffs of college, 21-6 at halftime. But you can go ahead and mark this one down too, young Gator. Harbaugh and Go Blue, unfortunately, come back and win, and they advance the national championship game against either Georgia or Ohio, which is why I wanted Jim Harbaugh for the Vikings. But nope, they had to dip into the pool of the toddlers and hire the infant, Kevin O'Connell. That's a whole other topic. So back to the topic at hand, Bengals, Ravens. Bengals find a way to get into the playoffs. Lamar Jackson will be back. He's not a good passer, but he'll run, and John Harbaugh finds a way to win that game. And Bengals coming off the Super Bowl loss is always hard to get back. I see this being kind of another game that they drops them in the seeding, and they will not be back in the Super Bowl this year for the AFC.
Yeah, it's going to be the Bills. The Bills are too good. Well, I'd like to see Justin Herbert in the Super Bowl. They finally have a healthy team, and they've been rolling. But they did play the Colts, and the Colts aren't good.
One more game, right?
Yep. This is Washington versus Dallas. I have Washington winning because Dallas has already, assuming that the Eagles beat the Saints, which I think they will, especially with Jalen Hurts being questionable. So if he plays, I'd say it's a lock. Eagles beating the Saints. The Washington will have the playoffs to play for. So I just feel like they'll have more heart. The Cowboys will have their backups in. Although Cooper Rush did go undefeated other than one game. So that's why I have Washington winning 22-19. And you have the Cowgirls winning 24-16. And I actually did decorate it to be Cowgirls because that's what you said in the text.
That is correct. So there's a few pieces to this puzzle. I think the Washington, formerly known as the Redskins, formerly known as the Washington football team, now with worst nicknames in the history of football, the Commanders, will actually lose in Week 17. So while they will mathematically be in play for a playoff seed or a playoff berth in Week 18, Dak Prescott is not that good. So it doesn't matter who's at quarterback for Dallas. They're built on their offensive and defensive line. So they could literally start the Jordan High School football quarterback at quarterback in Week 18, and they could be and will be the formerly Redskins, Washington football team, currently worst team in the history of National Football League, the Commanders. 24-16. The defense for the Commanders keeps them in the game, but again, the Cowboys' offense and defensive line win that game, even though, as you pointed out, it's a meaningless game for the Cowgirls. And don't get me wrong, they are the Cowgirls.
Yeah. So, do you see the Cowboys going anywhere in the playoffs?
They have really nothing to play for because they will be the number 4 seed regardless of what happens in the next 2 weeks. They will host the Panthers or the Bucks, more than likely the Bucks.
They'd be the 5 seed. They'd play
at
at the Bucks because they're the 5 seed because division championship.
That you are correct. I stand corrected. So they have a penalty of a terrible seating system in that road to play a team that's under 500. But that could set up Vikings Cowgirls, U.S. Bank Stadium.
That'd be Eagles.
Divisional-
They'd play the Eagles next round if they win.
Yeah, could be interesting. We'll see what happens. Not a big Eagles believer, big 49ers believer, but I don't like the rookie quarterback in the playoffs. And as you know, with the Vikings, the infant head coach and the horrid defense scares me. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, back to that rookie quarterback. Beepa mentioned how they call him Mr. Relevant, but he seemed pretty relevant so far. So he's not terrible. He's better than Jimmy G. Well,
I would argue that he's not better than Jimmy G. He is better than Larry Nance or whatever the guy's quarterback name is that they drafted third overall from Marshall, Minnesota, who played just a handful of starts in college. He should thank coach.
alright, it did cut out at the very end there, but we just finished talking about it, said goodbye to him. There wasn't much that you missed. We did all the predictions, so we'll get into the rest of my predictions right after this. Okay, so we're back to finish off my predictions. Just another thank you for having Jason on the show. I know that takes a little bit of work to get the predictions ready. And spent his time out of his day in the sunny Florida to come on to our show. But the first game I have, I'll kind of speak to these because I kind of left the mid games out of this so that everyone can do the good ones. So the first game is the Rams at the Seahawks. Whoops.
Okay, I'm done.
I have the Rams winning this 27-21 because I feel like the Rams could play a spoiler right here, which would be big for the Seahawks, and it would help the Packers, and the Packers always find a way to lock their way in the playoffs. And the next game is the Browns at the Steelers. I have the Steelers winning 24-21. They still have a chance to make the playoffs, but it's very slim, and I think they'll get this down. So, back to when I am filming Monday night, when I do my Week 17 analysis, I actually don't know the result in any of those games. Okay, now, again, thank you for Jason for being on. Now to our Week 17 predictions. Or, Week 17 analysis. So, the first game, I had the Cowboys killing the Titans. I was one number off. If I had a 2 instead of a 7, I would have been spot on. So I was 10 points off in that one. I'm 1 for 1. This one, I had the Falcons winning 21-17. They actually won 28-19. So I was pretty close on that one. Next game, I had the Lions winning 24-22. They killed the Bears. That wasn't even a close game. The next game, I had the Chiefs winning 37-21, and it was 24-30 or 27. This one I had the Dolphins winning 27-23. The Patriots won, and this is where I start to make a spiral. This one I had the Giants winning 28-21. They killed the Colts. 5 for 6. It was a very solid start, but I go really bad right here. So this one I have the Eagles winning 27-20 or 17, and they lost by 10, but that's with Gardner Minshew playing. This game I had the Panthers winning 31-27, and the Buccaneers just won that game. This one I had the Commanders winning 21-19, and they lost to the Browns. This one I had the Jags winning, and they did win. They absolutely killed the Texans. This one I had the Vikings winning. They got killed. I don't want to talk about this game. This one I had the San Fran winning, and it was a lot closer than I thought, but I had it correct. This one I had the Jets winning, and the Seahawks won by a lot. The Jets offense sucks. This one I had the Chargers winning, which they did, but I didn't have them scoring that many points as they did. This one I had the Steelers winning, and I know the Steelers did win, but I forgot to put the box score up in the top. And then for Monday Night Football, I had the Bengals winning 34-31. That game will not be finished. Prayers to Damar Hamlin. I am glad to see that he's up on his update that he's doing very well for what state he was in. So, prayers to him. That game will not be finished. So, my total is 9 for 15. sorry the analysis was kind of fast, but I had no update on the Monday night game, so as soon as I wanted to get the update before I finished the analysis, and I got the update. So the predictions are before this week, so we didn't know what was happening this week when we made the predictions for week 18. So we didn't know how any of these games ended at the time. Thank you guys for watching this video. These videos take a decent amount of time to make, especially the slideshows. They're a lot of work, so appreciate you guys leaving a like and commenting down below. See ya.